Most people trace the origins of economic thought to Adam Smith, Karl Marx, or perhaps Aristotle, but long before capitalism, central banks, or modern financial systems, a quieter truth emerged from the medieval world, a truth Western history rarely teaches. Nearly 1,000 years ago, a Muslim scholar warned that when money loses its moral compass, societies rot from the inside out. Judging by the world we live in today, he may have understood us far better than we think. Welcome to YieldVerse, where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is ever as simple as it looks. To understand Hamid al-Ghazali, one of the most influential thinkers of the Islamic Golden Age, you have to imagine a world that looked both familiar and foreign. The year is around 1100 CE. Europe is fragmented and poor, still crawling out of the early Middle Ages. Meanwhile, the Islamic world stretches from Al-Andalus in Spain to Persia and beyond. Its cities are wealthy, crowded, and sophisticated. Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo stand as financial and intellectual powerhouses. Trade routes pulse with caravans, carrying silk, spices, textiles, and silver. Scholars debate philosophy, law, astronomy, and medicine. Markets are busy. Wealth is transforming society faster than anyone can fully understand. In this world of booming commerce and rising inequality, al-Ghazali emerged, part philosopher, part jurist, part theologian, part critic. He was the kind of thinker who could explain both the purpose of the soul and the purpose of a currency system without hesitation. Born in 1058 in Persia, he rose quickly through the intellectual ranks. By his mid-30s, he held one of the most prestigious teaching positions in the Islamic world. But what made him unique wasn't his prestige, it was his refusal to accept a status quo. He saw a society growing richer yet drifting away from meaning, an economy thriving outwardly, but decaying inwardly, a civilization getting rich faster than it was getting wise. So he asked a dangerous question: what happens when a civilization gets rich faster than it gets wise? Al-Ghazali argued that money was never meant to be worshipped, hoarded, or used as a status symbol. It was a tool, a facilitator of exchange. He compared money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. Its worth comes from what it reflects. Money is the same. Its power lies not in gold or silver, but in what it allows people to build, trade, and cooperate. From this idea came one of his most striking insights. Hoarded money is dead money. Wealth locked away in chests, hidden in rooms, or buried in courtyards wasn't just useless. It was socially destructive. Idle wealth doesn't circulate, it doesn't feed workers, fund trade, or support families. It strangles economic life. He described hoarding as freezing the bloodstream of society, a metaphor that still fits modern debates about inequality and concentrated wealth. His argument was systemic. When the wealthy hoard money, they create scarcity, not because resources are lacking, but because circulation is blocked, prices distort, markets break down, people suffer. He also condemned merchants who manipulated prices, created artificial shortages, or exploited crises for profit. To him, speculation without contribution was corruption, and corruption was contagious. Once it takes hold, it spreads through markets, institutions, and eventually the entire society. Yet he was not anti-profit or anti-trade. He believed markets were natural and necessary, and that wealth could be meaningful, even noble. His real target was dishonest trade, false weights, concealed defects, manipulated information. Markets function only when participants trust one another. Once trust collapses, the economy collapses right behind it. He believed work was inherently dignified. Money earned through effort built character. Money accumulated through manipulation corroded it. Societies grow strong when people contribute, and weak when people exploit. He also delivered a warning about rulers who diluted gold or silver coins to stretch their budgets, an early form of inflation. To him, debasing currency was theft. It eroded trust, punished the poor, and destabilized the financial system from the top down. Unjust rulers, he warned, destroy prosperity faster than any external enemy. He observed that corruption at the top spreads downward like poison. When rulers cheat their people, merchants feel justified cheating customers. When institutions lack integrity, individuals abandon responsibility. The entire economic order, from palace treasury to neighborhood market, becomes a chain reaction of distrust. His conclusion was stark: a society can survive poverty, but it cannot survive corruption. Economic collapse is rarely about running out of resources, it is about the breakdown of trust, the invisible glue holding together every transaction, contract, currency, and institution. When trust erodes, even the wealthiest nation becomes fragile. Al-Ghazali understood something many still struggle to accept: money works because people believe in it. When that belief disappears, the system fails. He also understood human behavior. People hoard out of fear. They speculate out of greed. They cheat when they think they can get away with it. They justify unethical profits because everyone else is doing the same. When exploitation becomes normal, collapse is already underway. You cannot fix an economy without fixing the incentives that shape human behavior. To him, wealth was not inherently bad, but it was incomplete without purpose. Societies grow strong when individuals contribute more than they extract, when accumulation is balanced by responsibility, when profit respects the common good. But when wealth detaches from social responsibility, the system becomes brittle. A selfish society eventually collapses under its own weight, and when it collapses, everyone pays, including those who thought they were immune. 1,000 years later, his warnings echo across the modern world. Inequality rises, speculative bubbles grow, trust in institutions declines, inflation erodes purchasing power, financial crises repeat with predictable regularity. The technology is different, the scale is global, but the underlying human behaviors remain the same. Al-Ghazali was not preaching religion, he was describing reality. Money is not a mechanical object, it is a moral ecosystem, and when the moral framework disintegrates, the financial system follows. In an era defined by debt, speculation, institutional mistrust, and financial anxiety, his central message becomes a survival principle. If money becomes detached from morality, the system will eventually break. Understanding this isn't just financial education, it's financial protection, because history doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will crush you all the same. Welcome to YieldVerse.